Hey guys, quick update. Took her out for a test drive the other day. Sounded pretty good. Better than she had been. Still doesn't feel 100% right, but anyway, I'll get to that in a minute. So, when I was driving her around, one of the things I had just done is there's a cable down here in this area, somewhere in this area. Yeah, this one. Fish it out real quick for you. That comes from the injector line, the injector wiring harness. You can see somebody spliced it and messed around with it before. And this cable stuff is pretty fragile. It's just crunching apart. But so I had plugged it back in, and when I went out on my cruise, I went around the block 4 or 5 times and figured, you know what, hey, maybe I can push a little bit further. So I was going to go around again. Well, wound up going down about 2 blocks and over about a block, and all of a sudden she died, completely quit. Sat there, tried to crank her, couldn't get her cranked. So I was on my own. So I started pushing her, pushed her most of the way home. I got 4 or 5 houses down, and then my wife and friend came by, helped me push her the rest of the way home. I mean, it's an easy car to push. One person can push it in a couple of miles if they needed to. It's a very light car. And you look at me, I mean, I don't have no muscle on me, nowhere. I mean, and I can push it. But anyway, off of that tangent. So I get home and I start messing with it a few more times, trying to crank it over, looking at her. I noticed I got a bunch of oil back there, sprayed up stuff, which I know I've got oil leaks in it. Get to that another time, probably another year or 2 at this rate. Haha. And anyway, I was losing hope. I couldn't figure it out. Finally, I say, you know what? The only thing that I've done that was drastically different was plug this in. So I figured, you know what? Hell, let me try it. Plug it in, or unplug it. So I unplugged it and went in there, cranked it, started right up. So I got onto one of my Facebook chat groups that I'm part of. I'm part of a whole bunch of them, and asked what this could be. And somebody came on and said that that is the cold start injector. I mean, okay, I'll take them at their word for it. I'm pretty familiar with this engine, but I mean, I couldn't tell you what parts are called. I just know that I've taken them out and put them back in, taken them apart and put them back together, but I've never had to replace that part or anything. I've actually never messed with injectors on any vehicle, including my Fieros. So that's a whole new system to me. I mean, I've taken them out, put them back, but only when rebuilding out of necessity. I've never had to troubleshoot them at all. So I've got it just sitting here now, tucked down in there just so it stays out of the way and doesn't get caught up, burned up by anything. So I need to now learn that system and trace that issue, find out what's going on. There's some switch in there or something I need to do, take care of, whatever. So that's going to probably be the next big thing I take care of. Aside from that, I do need to do something about the EGR. I've got it completely shut off right now. I've got it blocked off with a leather gasket here and up under here. I do need to get the emergency brake taken care of. There is no emergency brake whatsoever on this, hence to chunks of wood that I keep under it. And also the throttle cable back up in there, you can't really see it, it's too dark right now, but back up in there, it loops up and then drops down. Oops. It loops up and then drops down. Well, there's a section of it about yay long, maybe a little bit longer. It's like maybe 7 to 9 inches that's completely melted. It still works, but it's melted. So I gotta take care of that. I also gotta get a new clip for this. The clip seems to have come off somewhere. So my throttle cable just slides right off. All of that stuff just slides right off real easy. I'm not going to worry about cruise control. I'm actually going to probably completely delete the whole cruise control setup, because I enjoy the drive. I enjoy pushing the gas pedal on a car. I enjoy that stupid thing. Even on long drives, I like that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna probably delete the cruise control altogether on this one. Eventually, if I keep this car long enough, I plan on keeping it forever. I'm a fiero nut. I love them. But if I do wind up keeping it, eventually this engine's going to be taken out and I'm going to do an engine swap. Haven't quite figured out which engine I want to put in yet. I've jumped around with the LS swap idea. I've thought about doing something totally freaking insane and dropping an engine in the front of it. But the engine that I'm wanting to do that with is a very expensive motor, and it would take a lot of work for what I'm wanting to do. But for now, I think I'm just going to continue modifying this one until it blows up. And that's going to be removing cruise control, removing the air conditioner system. Because I mean, this car's got enough windows in it. It's got both passenger, driver, and the sunroof. And I mean, none of my vehicles have air conditioner anyway, so I'm not worried about it. It's a luxury I don't need. And in this, I mean, that'd be one less thing to suck power. I want to do a larger alternator, or maybe even try to find a way to do a dual alternator, because I would also like to add another battery. And what I'm thinking for that is I'll relocate this battery down into this side of the what's supposed to be the trunk, and add another one on the opposite side. Keep the weight distribution good and bring that weight a little bit further back. I'm also in the process of trying to design something that I can fit up into this scoop here. These originally were windows that just go straight back, flush, flat, no holes, no nothing. But I have these scoops here. I like them. They're cool. They're supposed to help bring the air through and pull the air up and out of these vents that are right here. But what I'm thinking I'm going to do is make it so that this air will come in sort of like a cold air intake idea, feed it down through there, and then through, probably delete this setup that's in here and then bring it straight on over. Those are just a few of the plans that may or may not happen in the future. I mean, my plans tend to change quite frequently, but it'll be nice if they do. It'll be something cool, something different. I would enjoy being able to do it. I did already take the plastic covering off of these lights because it was completely destroyed. In the process, I accidentally broke the center out of the A and the center out of the P for Pontiac. You can see parts of it from repairs that people had done before to these. They had cracked, and somebody had put super glue or something in here, and now this chunk is completely stuck on there. But these will get replaced eventually. I want to keep the stock Pontiac ones because I love the way it says Pontiac in the back. So I've got some body work to do. Apparently a fender bender at some point, and it had been patched up at one point and made look nice. The car originally was gold. Let me open up here. Oh, I'll show you the headlights real quick before anything else. I like these ones. Oh, you can't see them very good. Hold on. Let's see if I can figure these. There we go. They've got those halos or whatever you call them. I didn't put them on there. They came with it, but I finally got them working properly. But yeah, the original color of the car was gold. You can't really see it very well. There's some in between the overspray on here in various spots. But it had been in an accident at one point. Enough that it's got a salvage title, but it's not a totaled call. The bucket, the headlight bucket, is crushed inside of here. And so the mount for the bumper is messed up. So I got to take care of that. Body work isn't hard. I like body work. I've also got to bring the bottom of this up and then bring it all out so it all sits closer to where it's supposed to. And the one thing that's perplexing to me, I don't understand it. I don't know if it's warpage from time or the car set in the sun on this side more or what. But this whole door panel, there's no physical damage to it. It's in the way of being cracked or busted or anything. This panel is in really good shape, but if you look, it's got about a ½ inch that it sits in. It's warped really bad to about here. And if you're just walking around the car, you're not paying attention, it doesn't look like anything. It actually almost looks like it's got like a ½ inch wide body kit on it of some sort, which is interesting. But it's supposed to sit like this. It's supposed to sit nice and flat, nice and rounded down, straight back, and this one doesn't. This side, this whole section here sits in and sort of goes out to right about there. But like I said, there's no actual damage. You pull the door skin off and there's no damage to the framing of the door. The inside of the door, there's no cracking like it was hit or forced like that. So I've got to figure that out too. I may just purchase a new door. I've got a friend who's got a parts car, so I may just purchase the door off of his. I do need a new window for my other one anyway. So what I'm thinking I might do is I'll purchase that other door and put the new skin from that door on this one and the window from that door onto my other one. I do have this part, but I need the clips. All of these little clips, they're all dry rotted and falling apart. It's got the original style rims. These are the original rims, but they're off of my other one, not this car. I didn't have good tires to put on this one right now. And this one came with some trashy aftermarket ugly rims. I love the look of the original Snowflakes. I do need to get to the bottom of that oil issue though, in the back. You can see everything's got oil on it. It's all oily and wet, but I have a feeling I blew out a gasket or a seal on something. If not, actually, oh, you know what? I forgot about that. Where was it? There's another little tube back here. I can't find it right now. But it may be that. So I don't know what the tube's for off the top of my head. I have worked on these engines many times, but it has now been 15 years since I've worked on one. So my other one has been sitting at home, sadly just falling apart. The other one was my first car ever. Eventually I'll get her completely restored, and this one will become my toy, my race car. The other one will be my show car. Right now I've got a little solar panel hooked up on top. A little tiny thing. I think it was off of Shein or Temu or one of those websites. And it seems to be doing okay. Keeping it 12.9 to 13 volts every time I've checked it. I don't have any real electrical issues with this car. I do need to go and button up some wiring on the headlights and the radiator fan. I forgot about the radiator fan. Oh man. So I do have to take care of the radiator fan. It's not kicking on. It does have, it's hardwired. It's not hooked up through the engine. It's actually hardwired. The previous owner did that. I'd like to get it redone so it hooks up to the motor so it pops on when the car heats up like it's supposed to and everything, because I'll forget to turn it off and kill the battery. But right now it's just hooked into a switch in the center under the steering wheel on that bottom plate of the dash there, and then plugged straight into the fuse panel. But I washed the car the other day and I used a high pressure sprayer and sprayed everything under here in the front, trying to clean off some of the old radiator fluid and stuff that come up one of the times I opened the radiator while it was hot, and the radiator fan quit. So I do have an issue there. Anyway, those are a few of the things on my list to do with her, and a little bit of an update on that situation here. I got my tester jigger out the other day to do the OBD2 test, and oh man, did I come up with a bunch of codes. If any of you all that do watch now or in the future, because more than likely I'll still be working on it well into the future, know much about the Fieros, I would have no problem with y'all reaching out on the comments and letting me know, hey, you want to give me suggestions. Oh, I'm here to listen, because these things, they weren't the most reliable car, but considering it's over 30 years old, almost 35 years old, and it's still running with the original engine, I mean, gotta give it some credit. I know some new cars that less than 5 years old, and majority of them don't run no more. So that's the update on this one anyway. I didn't plan on this video being this long. I planned on maybe like 4 or 5 minutes, and here it is 20 minutes later. You'll see a lot of different content from me. I'll be working on my cars. I'll be doing little wood projects. I'll be doing coins. I'll be doing a little bit of everything. I'm constantly fiddling with stuff. You'll see me out riding my bike eventually, once I get that one fixed up too. But look, see, so I took like 10 minutes the other day and threw this together for somebody, just so that they have something to keep all the dust and the wood shavings from going all over everything in their garage, making a complete disaster. I built this, and I built it the way I did, out of cardboard as the backing. That way, if something were to happen while using the lathe, like a piece of the wood comes off or something and flies back and hits this, it'll go through this, or it'll lodge itself into it. If I were to make it with plywood like I originally thought, what's going to happen is it's going to hit that and bounce somewhere. And more than likely, with the luck of human nature, where's it going to come back at? Right there. So, I used cardboard on it so that in case of an issue, it can shoot it through it. So, but this took me like 5 minutes to throw together. It's just a couple boards screwed together at the ends with an angle cut, just to help collect. I do more intricate work. I make boxes. I do a lot of things. Working on my vehicles most of the time though. You'll see me working on random things. Anyway, hope y'all enjoy this video. If y'all want to see certain things from me, let me know, and maybe I'll work on doing something like whatever it is you like. One more walk around real quick, just so you know, I do take the plate off when I have it parked for more than a couple of hours. Like if I go to the mall or something, I'll take the plate off. This is not the plate to the car. This plate belongs to another vehicle that is no longer. But I do that in case somebody steals it. I can give the cops that plate number and say, hey, that plate's an unregistered plate. It'll give them a reason to stop the car, other than the car matches a certain description. Oftentimes people will get pulled over for speeding or whatever, and cops won't be paying attention to things, but then when they run that plate, they'll see that that plate doesn't match the car, and then they'll run more. I'll do a lot of different things to these cars, to my cars, so that if anything ever happens to them, I have ways of getting them back a lot easier. Like, all 3 of my trucks have 3 different trackers in them. These have trackers in them. They have usually I have these parked under my cameras so I can see them, and they're usually blocked in by other vehicles. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. A little insight into my craziness. Enjoy. Have an awesome day. And don't party too hard.